The last video posted on his channel was titled "One More Trail Before Winter." The YouTuber's name was Eric Dalton, a 32-year-old outdoor adventurer whose channel had grown steadily over 5 years. He was known for long hikes into obscure corners of America, sleeping under the stars, filming himself, fishing in quiet creeks, and exploring forgotten trails that hadn't seen footsteps in decades. His style wasn't flashy. He didn't scream for attention or stage stunts. He simply let the silence of the wilderness and the occasional unsettling discovery speak for itself. That final upload was just like the rest, calm, measured, and oddly magnetic. The thumbnail showed him standing at the edge of a forest in northern Maine, wearing his worn-out red flannel jacket and smiling into the camera. His caption was short: "Testing a new route, might be gone for a week. See you soon." He was never seen again. The trail begins. The story begins where Eric's video ends. The footage, later examined by authorities, begins with him parking his pickup truck at a lonely trailhead outside a town so small it barely appeared on maps. The trees were skeletal with the onset of late autumn, their leaves rotting underfoot. His voice, steady but slightly hoarse from the cold, explained that he had heard about an old path, long abandoned, which locals used to call the Bishop's Road. Nobody seemed to know who the bishop was. Some said it was a preacher who vanished with his congregation during a blizzard over 100 years ago. Others dismissed it as folklore, a story meant to scare children away from wandering too far into the forest. Eric, ever the skeptic, grinned into his camera. "That's the trail I'm taking. If I don't make it back, you'll know who to blame." The camera caught his smirk before he turned and walked into the shadows of the trees. The first night. The first night's footage was typical. He built a fire, cooked beans from a can, and spoke casually about his plans to push deeper the next day. But a few subtle details stood out. He kept glancing over his shoulder as if he heard something moving behind him. Once, while adjusting the camera, his face froze. The mic picked up what sounded like a faint voice, high, drawn out, almost childlike, drifting from the trees. He shook his head, muttered "wind," and changed the subject. Strange markings. On the second day, Eric found the first of the symbols. His camera zoomed in on a tree trunk where crude carvings, old but still sharp, formed a circle of crosses around a hollow knot. He chuckled nervously. "Well, that's creepy," he said. "Guess some preacher did come this way." A few hours later, he stumbled on more, crosses carved into rocks, trees, even on the ground where moss struggled to grow. None of them were neat or reverent. They looked hacked out, desperate, angry. The forest grew denser, the sky seemed dim even in daylight, and Eric's tone, usually calm and steady, grew distracted. He kept stopping mid-sentence, as though listening to something just out of range. That night, while filming himself by the fire, he whispered, "I swear I heard someone walking out there." He tried to laugh it off, but the laughter cracked. The third day. The third day's footage was never uploaded. It was recovered weeks later from his damaged camera, found lying in a stream miles from his last known campsite. The video begins with him rushing through the woods, his breathing ragged, the lens bouncing wildly. He whispers, "They're following me." The camera swings, showing nothing but trees, shadows, and silence. Then, in the distance, something moves. Not clearly, just a pale figure between trunks, too far to identify, too still to be animal. Eric zooms in, his hands shaking. The shape seems to stand motionless for minutes before melting back into the forest. His whisper cracks, "That's not a person." The video cuts. The local stories. When Eric failed to return, search teams combed the woods. Locals, many of whom had laughed at his quest, began to share stories more freely. One old logger recalled hearing about the Bishop's Road from his grandfather. According to him, the bishop was no preacher, but a fanatic who broke away from his church in the late 1800s. He gathered followers from nearby towns, preaching that the world was ending. He led them into the woods, promising salvation. They were never seen again, at least not alive. Some hunters claimed to have found strange altars in the forest, bones scattered around them, crosses carved into every surface. Others whispered of pale figures glimpsed at dusk, walking in circles through the trees, their eyes empty, their mouths moving as if in prayer. None of the rescuers admitted to seeing anything like that, but after the third day of searching, several refused to go back. The camera in the street. The most chilling discovery was Eric's camera, lying in shallow water as if deliberately placed. Much of the footage was damaged, but fragments were recovered. One clip showed Eric sitting by his fire, whispering directly into the lens. "I'm not alone out here. I thought it was animals, but it's not. They stand in the trees at night. They don't come close, but they don't leave either. They just watch." His eyes flick nervously to the darkness beyond the fire. They whisper, "I can't understand the words. I don't think I want to." Another fragment shows him waking suddenly in the night. The camera accidentally left recording. The fire had burned low. From the blackness, a voice sang, a low, tuneless chant, neither male nor female, repeating over and over. Eric's breathing quickens. Then the screen turns to static. The final recording. The last clear video is only 30 seconds long. The camera lies on the ground, tilted upward toward the trees. Eric is visible in the corner of the frame, backing away, his face pale and lips trembling. Something moves in the shadows, not one thing, but many. Pale figures stepping forward in silence, their eyes reflecting the firelight like glass. Their bodies are wrong, too thin, their limbs jerking as though unused to movement. One of them tilts its head back and a voice pours out, too loud for the distance, too layered to belong to one throat. Eric's voice cracks into a scream. He turns and runs. The figures follow. The camera stays where it lies, recording until the battery dies. The aftermath. Searchers never found Eric Dalton. They found his truck, abandoned at the trailhead. They found his campsite, fire long cold, beans still half eaten. They found the symbols carved deeper into the forest, fresh and raw, as though someone had been maintaining them. But they never found his body. Some say he joined whatever congregation still haunts the Bishop's Road. Others say he ran until he collapsed, buried somewhere under the endless trees. His channel remains online, his final video frozen in time. People still comment daily, some offering prayers, others spinning theories. And some, late at night, claim that if you watch that last upload long enough, you'll see pale shapes flicker in the background, just for a moment, just enough to wonder. Epilogue. A year after Eric's disappearance, another YouTuber decided to retrace his steps for clout. He lasted 2 nights before returning, pale and shaken. He refused to share most of his footage, claiming it was corrupted. The few clips he did upload show only trees, silence, and a single moment when his camera caught something carved into the bark. A fresh cross, jagged and dripping sap, as though it had been cut just hours before. In his final video, the new YouTuber stares into the lens and whispers, "Don't go looking for him. He's not lost. He's where he wanted to be." And then he deleted his channel.